you do see a lot of the time in this, a high five or a wave at each other. You'll see some really nice celebrations in Echo Arena. Here we go, though. We're heading into game one. They're lining up for the joust, and they're launching. We see an equal launch for the joust, and St. Clair takes it down on the ground. We see Black Label is first in possession. He's floating right over towards Baylor University, not giving up. We see one player in the net for Baylor, and he scoops it right out. I think Black Label was going for the pass there off the ground. Oh, he actually almost scored.
Almost got it in the net from a almost full court shot. And taking back the disc is going to be Mizuchi, trying to get something started here for St. Clair, passing it up to ZR Glitch. And as you see, ZR Glitch and Black Label are just going to start taking slow possession of Baylor's side, getting stunned, double stun there, and Baylor taking back possession.
It's slapped away, though, by ZR Glitch. You see two players getting stunned, and Baylor clears it out of their zone, right back into St. Clair's. There's Mizuchi, though, in net. The goalie of St. Clair, Mizuchi, has shown so much promise sitting in net and making sure the enemy team does not score on them. ZR Glitch slowly going to take it into Baylor's zone. He's got a man on, though, and he jukes right around him, just slowly kind of holding on to it. Drops it down, though, kind of floating over it to himself, and he gets it, and he's stunned out by the defense of Baylor. It's going to be contested by ZR Glitch and two players on Baylor. We see Nat going up, but he misses it, and it goes right to ZR Glitch. He bounces off the mid zone area, and he slaps Baylor out of there. Nat getting stunned, and he has a good angle to get the shot off, but he loses possession of it, and Baylor picks it up. We got Cameron Hay dumping it out of his own zone into St. Clair's side, but there's Mizuchi once again ready for it. He's going to float on down and take possession back.
I like to see Mizuchi playing that midway point just for any support if the ball kind of crosses. As Mizuchi almost got the pass away, just hits one of those pyramids, but gets possession back, not giving up any possession to Baylor.
He's going to dump it into Baylor's zone, though, and it goes right to ZR Glitch. So St. Clair still has possession. He shoots it on. That's a 3-point shot. First goal of the match. Dunking that disc in there is ZR Glitch, assisted by Mizuchi. It was really well executed by St. Clair. Mizuchi did lose possession of it, but he recovered so well after throwing it off like that middle kind of diamond. And if you're new to this, so after one team scores, the other team, who, for example, right now is Baylor, they're going to have a joust advantage. In sense, the ball will spawn over in Baylor's side instead of in the middle. In turn, easier for Baylor to get kind of possession of the disc early on.
Yeah, so we'll see how they do their launch this time. And you can see one Baylor player getting stunned out and just gonna kind of walk casually onto St. Clair's side. But everybody kind of just in a bunch. There's stuns coming out everywhere. Possession going back and forth as ZR Glitch comes out with the disc, entering Baylor's end, and a free throw just hits.
Oh, it bounces it right back to himself, shoots it on net, but what a save by Cameron Hay, and he dumps it right back out of his zone. But there's Mizuchi once again. He's gonna follow up with it, so that's great play for St. Clair to hold on, but it's contested by a player of Baylor, but it's passed down from Mizuchi to Black Label. One-on-one situation. He's going to go for the dunk, but it's stunned by Reese, and it's going to go bounce shot off the backboard, and ZR Glitch puts in another 2 points for St. Clair.
You know, those are the shots I like to see, the bounce shots, the trick shots, everything like that. It just makes the game look so much more fun than it actually is.
Well, I mean, any shot's so nice as long as it goes in. There could be a snipe going on, but the bounce shots are so skillful. You gotta throw it in such just a precise spot where it's not gonna bounce away from the net. It's gonna go into the net. Here we go. Baylor University back on the joust advantage. And as we go in, we just see them dancing around in their own zone, getting ready for it, hyping them each other up. Cameron Hay's gonna lead the joust. And here we are. Cameron Hay is picking it up. His other teammates are going to just shoot on down to St. Clair's side. We see a nice little spread from Baylor as he passes it over to Nat, but it's dumped out by St. Clair.
A missed pass by Baylor, almost causing them to turn the disc over as they just control it in the mid zone. But St. Clair getting the dump down into Baylor and you know, they just gotta pick this up.
CVRE does pick it up though, and he goes for the shot, but I think it was picked up and it's put inside the net by, I'm pretty sure that was Black Label who dunked it. It is Black Label. I thought it was an own goal. That's I was looking for it. I thought it was an own goal by Baylor, and that's another 2 points for St. Clair.
So St. Clair going up 7-0, looking very promising so far this game, but Baylor really holding their defense, you know, getting the ball out and doing what they need to do, but just not able to capitalize.
As they line up in the catapult zone, they're just gonna hold on to each other and get ready for this. Baylor University does have the joust advantage once again. Let's see if they can put some points on the board and bring themselves back into this match. It's not in the dark zone yet. They still have opportunity to bring it back. And as we reach the halfway point of the match, he's going to go for the pass, but it bounces off the middle diamonds and over into their own zone. Black Label stuns off Cameron Hay as it floats over into St. Clair's side. Mizuchi's going to pick it up and float onto that middle point. He's going to wait for his teammates to get in position. That's a stun going off of Cameron from Black Label. Mizuchi throws it down. CVRE picks it up, and it is a 2-on-0 open net situation for St. Clair. And it looks like they're just going to gently pass it and slam dunk it in. Black Label putting it in with the assist of CVRE.
It looked like CVRE was giving Black Label the alley-oop
Yeah,
pass.
the decent alley-oop. That was a nice play from St. Clair College to separate the defense of Baylor and put themselves in an open net situation.
Yeah, and the one thing I like to see St. Clair doing, not so much Baylor. Baylor looks like they are sending all 3 players up into St. Clair end, but St. Clair looks like to hold Mizuchi back in their end just in case the ball does float back into St. Clair side of the arena.
Yeah, essentially this is a team sport, so having that goalie is such a help. Baylor's going to go for the slow catapult out, and the joust is going to go in their favor as they dump it down to Mizuchi. Mizuchi always there to pick it up. He's going to throw it right back into Baylor's zone, and it's going to be received by one of the two sitting there. Reese picks it up, and it looks like there's a man on Cameron Hay, so it's not open for a pass. That's CVRE holding the nice position, and he does intercept it. That's excellent positioning by CVRE, and he's in a 2v1 situation. Gets stunned off by Cameron Hay, so nice defense from Baylor. Keeping it in possession of Baylor right now, but they miss the pickup, and CVRE takes advantage of that, passes it over to Mizuchi, but Mizuchi goes for the shot. There is a screen there, though, so you can't shoot it right on net. Mizuchi's going to hold it down lower. He's going to just dance around off of the diamonds. Goes for the pass to his teammate, and that's CVRE holding on. Goes for the shot from below, and that is a nice 2-pointer coming in from CVRE.
That was a beautiful shot. You know, the little hook shot it looked like over top of his head.
Yeah.
And you saw Mizuchi come inside Baylor, and just because they knew they had so much possession of that disc, and they knew that if Mizuchi can kind of just jump around with that disc and have possession and get someone open, they have a better possibility of getting it inside the net.
So here we go, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Let's see if Baylor University can pull it back, or is St. Clair College just gonna continue to run away with this game? We're going in for the joust advantage in Baylor's side, so they're gonna hold on to it once again, changing it up this time. Nat's gonna stay behind, and Cameron and Reese are gonna go forward. It's throwing into their zone, but it's always bouncing off that middle, and St. Clair there to intercept it. CVRE holding on to it, and he actually gets the stun off of Baylor's player. Nat holding onto the ball, though, right now. They just miss it, and they're gonna just take it up. It's stun central, though, coming out from Cameron Hay and CVRE. Mizuchi in possession. He's going to take it into their zone, but he's stunned off after he throws it. So he's going to be out for just a few seconds. Stuns everywhere. There's another stun going on to net. And it just, the ball's bouncing around everywhere in Baylor's zone. Nobody has direct possession of it. That's Black Label holding on to it though. Goes for the shot, but it's just wide of the net. Nat holding on to the disc. He's going to dump it out.
And as the disc hits the middle, you can see Mizuchi picking up the disc and pushing it back into the Baylor end. And Black Label and ZR Glitch are going to use their, team building exercises to their advantage. And Baylor taking back possession of the ball, not getting it out yet, just waiting for an opportunity, getting stunned off, and ZR Glitch taking the disc back and going into Baylor and throwing it behind the net, but just a missed pass and a missed shot. But able to recover possession of the disc and just waiting, flying around, floating around, and just
shot off the post by ZR Glitch. Just barely missing that 3-point shot, but he's gonna dunk it in. And he goes from the behind the net slam dunk with style. ZR Glitch putting 2 more points on St. Clair, up 13-0 with 46 seconds left in this game. We do go into a second half though, so it is not over when the time goes off. We're going to go into a 5-minute halftime, which leads into another 8-minute half.
And like I said, goalie's best friend, the post.
Yeah, the post coming in play nicely.
You see the post coming in amazing there. But Baylor not able to clear it out, and St. Clair able to capitalize.
And as the half is winding down, we want to see if Baylor can just kind of tuck in a nice 2-point or 3-pointer to get them right back into it, leading into the second half, because it is not over yet. There is still 8 more minutes after this. They can't feel like they're out of it, because they're definitely not. Mizuchi holding onto it in his own end is going to just glide over into the mid-neutral zone. As he clears it out, Reese is going to pick it up in his own zone. Passed over and intercepted by ZR Glitch. He goes for the shot, but it's wide. Black Label picking up, goes for another shot, but it's wide once again. Cameron Hay in possession behind his own net. Tosses the disc out, and as it crosses the neutral zone, Mizuchi is there to pick it up and pass it right back to his teammates. And here we are. The half is over, so we're going to go into a 5-minute break unless either team wants to keep going. But I'm sure that they want that break to go on. And if you look, ZR Glitch has 25 stuns.
That's a lot of stuns. That is, one of the most stuns I've seen. But, Baylor also having 14 stuns on one of their players. And that's just a lot of stuns to go around.
Both teams being super aggressive in this game. But that was the first 8 minutes is over, and that's the first 8 minutes that you've commentated. How did you like commentating Echo Arena?
Watching Echo Arena live and commentating it and being able to talk about it with someone who knows what's going on is so much better than just watching it at home, trying to guess what's going on. And so just watching and knowing who's playing and the play styles and how to play is amazing.
Yes, it is. And while we're on this break, St. Clair looked very in the game. They looked like they had a lot of control going on. What do you want to see going into the second half from Baylor to bring it back?
With such a big lead, it's not essentially the biggest lead, but with a 17-0 lead, you do want to see St. Clair kind of use this time as play defense and get your team chemistry built up more than it already is. And with that, essentially just making your team stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah. And they are showing it. They are showing a lot of promise, but they just can't. Like they're holding on to it, but every time they try to clear it off, it's almost intercepted in the neutral zone, or it bounces off something right back into there. And there's a player for St. Clair always there to just they're so well at covering the different players on Baylor, and their spread is so like well done that Baylor can't get it out of their own zone sometimes. So I want to see them kind of pass it to each other instead of just clearing it out, because they need to spread out the offense and the defense of St. Clair.
Yeah, Mizuchi does a really good job on holding that halfway point of the map and just essentially not letting Baylor use too much of their side. And when it does get in St. Clair's side, they do get it out. They get it out fast, or essentially it's intercepted at the half and thrown back in Baylor's side. So passing instead of throwing the disc out of their zone might be a little bit better of an option. But, at some points, it's easier just to toss the disc out and see if anybody can get it.
That's the one thing that I really like to see, though, coming from Mizuchi, is that St. Clair is using their third player, because he doesn't necessarily have to go up all the time. So they're using him as a goalie, and he's always going to be there to take possession, and it's putting him at such a good advantage for just throwing it right back into Baylor's zone instead of just holding it into their own zone. They can receive it almost at neutral or a little bit into their own zone and just throw it right back to his teammates.
Yeah, and Baylor they looked pretty strong on their defense getting it out, but it's just now getting it out, getting the ball or the disc and capitalizing.
Yes, it is. And it looks like we have just over half a minute left until the game starts. And both teams just winding down their practicing, having a little bit of a team talk going on, dancing around, floating around, doing whatever they can to get prepared for the second half.
And there's just, even in VR, if I was in any game, I don't think I'd play the game. I think I would just float around and do, weird spins and find something to do other than play the game.
It honestly, it looks like a lot of fun, even in a competitive aspect. It's very very weird to see sometimes the amount of fun that they can have dancing around, waiting for it. All the different things they can do, like the celebrations after they score. All the funny things that they can hold on to and do. And here we're going right back into this action now. Both teams are readying up. Both teams getting ready for the joust. And they're setting up their positioning. Because it is the second half, the disc is going to be set up in the neutral zone, evened out to both players. So there is no advantage to one team because there hasn't been a point scored yet.
Yeah, and just waiting to, launch in here. And I want to just see Baylor get possession of that ball. Even if they don't score, I just want to see them have a little bit more possession.
Right off the rip, we see a stun coming on to CVRE, and he's just going to float his way back into Baylor's zone. But St. Clair in possession early on. They're going for it. And I don't actually see the disc. Where is it? There it is. And Mizuchi just floating right on into their zone. Just two players on him, though, and he's juking them both. Taking it right over to the side and taking it right back in front. Going for the pass, but it just misses Black Label. It's going to go wide. Nat going for the disc, and they're going to have possession going across the neutral zone. Holding on to the disc, though, is Mizuchi. And there's once again showing their prominence in that neutral zone. They're always coming out with it back into Baylor's zone. Nothing's changed so far. Let's see if Baylor can reverse the role, though. There's a stun coming off of Black Label as it's passed over to Mizuchi. It's a 3-on-1 situation as the defense of Baylor recovers. Passed over to the player in front of the net, but I think Black Label was stunned, so couldn't receive the disc.
It does sound like there is a lot of stuns going out, and, just the aspect of being stunned is taking you out of the play for about 2 seconds, and that's enough time.
Oh, what a pass from Mizuchi over to Black Label for the first 2 point of the half, coming in favor of St. Clair as they go up 15-0.
And, they showed it right there as I was about to say it. The 2 seconds is enough time to get the pass off and get the disc inside the goal.
What a team play coming out for St. Clair, and we're gonna head right back into the jousting positions. Baylor University in the advantage because they lost the point in the last round. Mizuchi gonna lead the way for St. Clair outside of the catapult area.
Now, Mizuchi is essentially going to be playing in St. Clair half, so he's going to be the first one out of that catapult, so everybody else can catapult off of him.
That's a very good point to put. You can catapult off your own teammates, so that puts you at, if you can essentially do that, it's a very good skill to have, and that's CVRE going for the dunk, but gets a little bit kind of excited and goes for the shot, and it's blocked off by Cameron Hay. So excellent defense coming out from Cameron Hay to put it back into Baylor's possession. St. Clair didn't get the point. That was essentially a free point saved by Cameron Hay.
Yeah, and that's what you love to see is even though, you know, St. Clair might be that close to the goal, you always got to try your hardest to get it back.
But here we go. Black Label making sure it doesn't happen twice, putting in that three-point shot from a distance and putting St. Clair in an 18-0 advantage.
And assisted by Mizuchi, and, you know, I don't believe he has scored yet this game, but his assists and his stuns do a lot more in the long run than him just being up in the action trying to get goals.
Yeah, that's something we saw a lot last week coming out from St. Clair. Mizuchi didn't have high scoring until the second half. He started leaving his zone and taking more possession, going for more shots, and I'm pretty sure in the second half he did lead scoring. So let's see if St. Clair's going to go for that aggressive push in the second half like they did last week, or are they going to keep their traditional 2-1 play style?
As you see, Baylor just, you know, keep tossing it past the halfway point, and Mizuchi getting possession of it, beating it up to his team. CVRE kind of pushing in here.
2-on-1 situation. Both players stun each other, and it's a bounce off the backboard in for the three-pointer. St. Clair, 21-0. They're just, it looks like they're starting to run away with it.
Yeah, they look very, very comfortable, and, you know, just with the passing and everything, the possessions just look very comfortable where they're sitting.
But Baylor University not out of it yet. They have 5.5 minutes still. That is enough time to put them right back into this. Let's see them put a little bit more aggression on, kind of more possession on the ball, more possession in St. Clair's side. Just get it out of your zone and put it into the. It sounds easier than it really is, but we need to see a change coming out of them if we want to see them bring themselves back into this.
You know, and those almost with the lucky bounce, but those missed passes are really crucial to Baylor's offense. And CVRE getting the disc back, just pushing it into Baylor University's end, and a couple stuns coming out, and it looks like Black Label is gonna go get the disc and just misses it, and Cameron going to pick it up, and CVRE back with the disc with a
2-on-2 situation. Goes for the shot, but it's shot a little bit under the net, and it's gonna bounce right out into the kind of quiet air of Baylor's half.
As you see, Mizuchi with the possession of the disc switched off with CVRE, and they're
CVRE with a snipe shot past two players into the Baylor University side. That's 23-0. That was an absolute laser of a shot coming out from CVRE, assisted by Mizuchi. Like you said, Mizuchi doing such a good job by keeping possession in St. Clair's side.
And I see CVRE with 11 stuns.
11 stuns already going, and it's not even halfway into the round. I don't even think Baylor has enough time to react with all the stuns going on. They're just essentially floating around in the dead space of the map so much that it puts St. Clair in such an advantage, just spreading themselves out in Baylor's side and keeping keeping possession of it, but that's Mizuchi intercepting it almost immediately into the match.
Yeah, Mizuchi, you know, keeps getting those long discs that are just kind of floating around because Baylor just kind of tosses it out, but not taking back possession.
It really shows how much St. Clair has been playing this though. Like their skill has improved so much from last week to this week. They're showing a bunch of different things that they didn't do last week, that they are doing this week. A bunch of different skills that they're almost using to exploit the defense of Baylor.
Yeah, and as you see now, the disc is in St. Clair's end, but we're going to have Mizuchi pick up the disc and probably bring it right back into Baylor's end. Oh, and it hits a pyramid. And Baylor not able to get it quite, but he's going to get stunned off, and now it is a 2v2 situation in Baylor end.
Oh, what a juke coming out from CVRE to dunk that shot in. It's another 2 points for St. Clair, and they're up 25-0. One thing that I keep seeing Baylor do that I hope they change up, because it would give them a lot more space to work with, is instead of just picking up the disc and throwing it, I want to see them hold on to it more and pass it, because almost every single time when they've shot out of the catapult, they've picked up the disc and just thrown it into St. Clair's side. But when Mizuchi's there to intercept it, you can't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, when they have to know that Mizuchi's playing that halfway point and waiting for the disc to come through that halfway and waiting to get the ball back to his teammates.
And as we're on the perspective of Cameron, he's going to just float in there, and he's going to make that pass to Reese. So Reese just putting it right up, trying to get it to Nat, but it's intercepted by Mizuchi, and Mizuchi gets stunned out, so it's essentially a dead disc right now, floating up top. But both players of Baylor University just miss it. That's Reese picking up the disc, though. Tosses it over into the kind of goal zone, and that's a goal! A self-goal by CVRE is going to put Baylor University on the scoreboard. That's 2 points for Baylor University up against the 25 of St. Clair. It's good to see some points coming up for Baylor. They're let's see if they can take that momentum and roll with it, bring some more points into their side.
Yeah, and you know, getting even 2 points is maybe just enough to get their rally going. And you know, as St. Clair is on the joust advantage, they will start with the disc, and we'll see how well they do with getting it into Baylor end.
First time we see St. Clair with the disc advantage off the joust, and that's in turn Mizuchi just grabbing it right off the bat, and that's both players stunned off. CVRE getting stunned by Nat, and Nat gets possession and throws it out. But that's all players racing towards it. It looks like Baylor University is so alive right now. They're going so fast. It's a change of pace already. You can notice it, that they want more points. They've tasted it. They want more. As Mizuchi holds possession, he's gonna try to throw it out, but it's caught in the neutral zone and intercepted by Baylor. It gets tossed though into Baylor's zone, and that's CVRE grabbing it and taking the disc down low. He's just going to hold on to the ground, and essentially I saw Berkeley do a lot of this. Hold on to the bottom and kind of juke out, kind of run down the time. They have 1 minute 30 seconds left. They can try to put on some more points, but that's Baylor defense, just brick wall, stunning them out, getting the disc back into St. Clair's side. They don't want more points to come out for St. Clair. That's cross map shot from Baylor is going to put 3 points on the board for them. That's the first one I've seen, in Nat with excellent precision to put them up to 5 points.
That was a crazy shot, and you can see Nat in the background. It looked like she was dabbing. But you know, that is the correct celebration, any celebration for that kind of shot.
Well, it's nice to see someone hit that cross map shot. We saw so many teams try to go for it last week, and finally someone sinks it, and it's awesome to see that precision coming out from Nat.
That was crazy how it just thread the needle and, you know, bounce right in there.
St. Clair with Joust advantage again. You see Mizuchi picking it up, kind of designated disc holder off the start, passing it over to his teammate in the form of Glitch. Glitch is going to float along, and but he gets stunned out by Nat. Nat's going to dump it back into St. Clair's zone, and it's going to be just floating out. Mizuchi picks it up, and he's just holding on to the wall.
He's essentially just going to waste as much time as they can and secure the win. They're up about 20 points with a nice little bounce, and Black Label getting the disc, throwing it to the bottom, and, you know, letting it bounce around. And Baylor looking a lot more alive than they have all game.
It's awesome to see that they do have this momentous feel. Just kind of wish they could bring this sort of energy earlier in the match, but it's nice to see. And let's see if they can put more points on. But that's a slam dunk from Black Label, putting St. Clair up 27-5. Nobody there wanted to defend, but everybody a little bit too excited, overzealous, and St. Clair takes advantage of that.
Yeah, you know, there was a lot of stuns coming out there, so a lot of out of position players because of the stuns, and that's something that a lot of teams have to adapt to, knowing that, hey, my goalie per se is out of is stunned and out of position. I need to come back and play that position until they can come.
7 points on for Black Label. Should put it on a show in the second half. Is the new player on St. Clair, the kind of rookie in this league that St. Clair picked up. He's showing a lot of good things, though, molding well with the veteran players that are Mizuchi and Glitch. Match does come to an end. That's St. Clair winning 27-5 over Baylor University. Puts them up 4-0 in the standings, and I think that puts Baylor